straight ahead full speed. But sometimes what you want so bad is not what you need. Be careful what you wish for. Some dreams you never come true. Be careful what you hope for. My hope was I would have you. But you came and you went, and my love was misspent. Now all I do is regret it. Got to be careful what you wish for, 'cause you just might get it. Fantasy, everybody is prone to fantasize. Yes, you and me was a dream I just had to realize. Till I had you, I could not rest. I thought you were the secret to my success. Be careful what you wish for. Some dreams should never come true. No, no. Be careful what you hope for. My hope was I would have you. But try as I might, I didn't handle it right. And success can destroy you if you let it. Got to be careful what you wish for, 'cause you just might get it.
Start your recording.
Pick up your copy of the Son of Man Speaks magazine today. With the Son of Man Speaks magazine, you'll receive automotive tips, wholesome recipes, financial advice, and most importantly, a true understanding of the Word of God. Get your copy of the Son of Man Speaks from these select locations. Sisters, Braid 2, 18070 Mount Ellie, the Shell Gas Station, 13110 West 7 Mile Road. To get a subscription, call 601-786-9788. That's 601-786-9788. The Son of Man Speaks magazine, dedicated to becoming free indeed. Attention, brothers and sisters, viewers and listeners, now available. Your Son of Man Speaks magazine digital subscription. Your digital subscription to the Son of Man Speaks magazine will also include our monthly e-newsletter, both delivered to your inbox. If you have any questions regarding the digital magazine subscription or digital newsletter, you may send an email to shabazprinting at thenewnationofislam.com. That's shabazprinting@thenewnationofislam.com. Or call 1-601-786-9788. That's 1-601-786-9788. You can also subscribe online. Visit www.thenewnationofislam.com and click on the magazine tab to register for your online subscription. To make your online tithes, offerings, donations, gifts to the Son of Man through Cash App, make your payment to $New Nation of Islam. That's $New Nation of Islam. Or call 601-786-7056. 601-786-7056.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website at www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. That's www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. We often hear how we need to work together to rebuild the city, and we're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links to track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. And for more information, 313-868-0000 is a local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
Year-Around Landscaping has been serving Metro Detroit for over 20 years, offering various landscaping, lawn care, property maintenance, and home renovation. Our professionalism has earned us an outstanding reputation, while our creativity, integrity, and dependability have kept our clients returning and referring us to others. At Year-Round Landscaping, we prioritize quality customer service. We treat every client as our only client before, during, and after providing our services. We believe in building solid relationships with our clients and ensuring their satisfaction. Whether you need a complete outdoor makeover, indoor renovation, or routine maintenance, we have the expertise and resources to deliver outstanding results. Our team is committed to providing exceptional service and completing every project to the highest standard. To schedule an estimate or consultation, please call us at 248-843-6139 or visit our website at yearoundlandscaping.net. Year-Around Landscaping. One source, unlimited resources.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication and print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Are your clothes coming apart at the seams? Universal Seamstress and Tailoring has got you covered. At Universal Seamstress and Tailoring, we specialize in a wide variety of alterations and transformations to make and keep your clothes looking and fitting their best. From hem jobs to downsizing suits and dresses for a perfect fit to replacing zippers and buttons, Universal Seamstress and Tailoring is your one-stop shop for clothing maintenance. Also, do you have a logo for your clothes you'd like to wear? Universal Seamstress and Tailoring can put it there. That's right. At Universal Seamstress and Tailoring, we not only do alterations, but embroidery as well. Shirts, pants, coats, hats, even bags. If you can wear it, we can embroider it. So remember, whether it be alterations or embroidering you need, Universal Seamstress and Tailoring has got you covered. Universal Seamstress and Tailoring is located at 1404 Main Street, Fayette, Mississippi. Come and see us or give us a call at 601-786-0540.
just used your other one though today because it was, look, it did 2 drips, and I was like, oh, I can use my umbrella. My homegirl was talking about me. I'm like, don't talk about me.
With our umbrellas, our customers are turning a drab day into a fab day. After all, representation matters. In other words, rain or shine, we've got you covered. Introducing Designs by Deej, your one-stop gift shop for all things handmade and unique. Our products range from our most popular umbrellas, blanket and pillow sets, handmade coasters, and other statement pieces that showcase the beauty of our melanin and natural hair in a beautiful and empowering way. You can find our brand at the sister shop locations in New Jersey and Atlanta, Georgia, or you can visit our website, www.designsbydeej.com. Again, that's www.designsbydij.com.
For Ely carpet, floor, and upholstery cleaning, call Supreme Steam Cleaning. For pressure washing on your house and driveway, call Supreme Steam Cleaning. Flooding in your house or building, Supreme Steam Cleaning's got you covered with our emergency water extraction services. Transform the rooms in your home with floor installation, repairs, and more. Give us a call today at 601-720-5138. That's 601-720-5138. Visit our website, www.supremesteamclean.com, and follow us on social media at Supreme Steam Cleaning. When you need an elite team, call Supreme.
For all facets of professional hair care and braiding, come to Sisters Braid 2, located at 18070 Mount Elliott in Detroit. We specialize in braiding and natural styles, knotless box braids, feed-in braids, scale twists for men, women, and children. We specialize in all facets of healthy hair. Try our natural oils to keep your hair healthy. 313-826-0498 or 248-372-1738.
Out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Murray, he's downfield.
Oh man, the power's out again.
You have reached Quality Construction and Engineering, your #1 emergency generator source.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life. With a backup generator, your life goes on uninterrupted with power when you need it. Not to mention the peace of mind of having your property suited to weather the storm.
Whoever would have thought in Houston, Texas, that we would have an ice storm? It did happen. And that Sunday night when it came in, I got up and looked out the front door. Everything was pitch black. It was horrible. Something out of a novel or a science book that you had never seen before. Once the lights went out, my generator popped on. It ran 55 hours. The only one had lights.
Get your backup generator installed with Quality Construction. We install both residential and commercial generators, so you're always covered. Schedule your consultation with us by calling 1-855-876-9370. That's 1-855-876-9370. Or visit us online at www.powerqec.com. That's www.powerqec.com. Financing is available with low monthly payments and 0% interest for 18 months.
That was the best investment that we could have ever made. That's my backup, the generator.
Generators with Quality Construction, built tough enough to weather the storm.
Capital Area Cleaning Services, offers a variety of services catered to your land development needs. We offer landscape design, residential design, land planning, mapping and consulting services, and more. We have over 20 years of design and land planning experience. CAPS LLC offers services to developers, builders, architects, surveyors, contractors, government agencies, and private landowners. Feel free to contact us to find out which services are available in your area. You may reach us at 601-326-2966. That's 601-326-2966. You can also visit us on the web at www.capsllconline.com. Let us put on our thinking caps to serve your land development needs.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scripture and not really understanding what you read? And if you're reasonably sure, have you ever tested that what you feel you know with someone that has a different view than your own? Then let's talk with one another. Then let's reason with one another on a Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 12 noon. On WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR, and Comcast Cable. Why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning? You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go live with a Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet you all once again who are hungry and thirsty for the true understanding of Allah's Word, the Holy Scriptures, and for truth in general. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. I want to begin, as I always do, with those who may have questions or disagreements or something they want to take up with me. You may at this time open up that discussion. Okay, since we don't have anyone.
So you wanted to be reminded to speak on the importance of vaccination?
Yes. It's just like the 9th chapter of the Holy Quran is entitled the immunity. And the reason it's entitled the immunity is because it spiritually vaccinates us with the attributes and what to look for in what hypocrisy is, and so that way, if you it's not so much as given to you to judge others, it's given to you to keep yourself from being infected with hypocrisy and not know it. And so it describes what a hypocrite is. for example, it opens up. It says, just a moment. The immunity, and a declaration of immunity. A declaration of immunity from Allah and His Messenger to those of the idolaters with whom you made an agreement. So go about in the land for 4 months, and know that you cannot escape Allah, and that Allah will disgrace the disbelievers. And an announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people on the day of the greater pilgrimage, that Allah is free from liability to the idolaters. And so, an idolater is someone who worships false gods, in other words, who worships lies. Since the word is God, false words are idol gods. Do you understand? And it says, and so is His Messenger, free from liability for you. Why? What did Allah say to me? Son of man, give them warning from me, and in so doing, you deliver your own soul from blame. Do you understand? And it says, so if you repent, it will be better for you. And if you turn away, then know that you will not escape Allah. And announce painful chastisement to those who disbelieve. Announce meaning warn them that that's going to cause you to have a painful chastisement for following falsehood. Remember, the messenger said it like this. He said, misunderstanding is the hell to man. Huh? So it says, except those of the idolaters with whom you made an agreement, then they have not failed you in anything, and have not backed up anyone against you, so fulfill their agreement to the end of their term. Surely Allah loves those who keep their duty. And your duty is to fear God and keep His commandments. And surely Allah loves those who fear Him and keep His commandments. And it says, so when the sacred months have passed, slay the idolaters, wherever you find them. Now that's where people get all messed up. The idolater is not flesh. The idolater is the mind that's in flesh. Flesh does not worship. Minds worship. Do you understand? And so, and take them captive, and besiege them, and lie in wait for them in every ambush. But if they repent and keep up prayer. Now, how can they repent if you physically killed them? Now you see what my understanding is far more accurate than anything you done heard coming out the mouth of all these people claiming to be Muslims. Huh? Okay. Now, so that's what those vaccinations, those vaccines do for you. They immunize you against the baneful and harmful effects of that virus. If and when it enters into your body, your immune system is better able to deal with it because of that vaccine. Do you understand? And so the virus can't get loose and do what it would have done if the immune system had been asleep to what the virus was doing. But the vaccine wakes up the immune system to what that virus is capable of doing, and the immune system is able to go after it and deal with it. Do you understand? Okay. So, it's like I was telling telling the brothers, so we generally talk after meetings and talk other times too, whenever something comes up. But as I was telling them, you know, the term angel, it even by your dictionary, it tells you that angel. It gives you the definition of angel. And just a moment. Angel. It says, intermediaries between God or heaven and humanity. Let me get back over here. Give me a minute here. Let me go to the dictionary there. It's always changing up something. I have to go back and change it back. A heavenly creature. And it says, a typical benevolent celestial being that acts as an intermediary between heaven and earth, especially in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and Zoroastrianism. A representation of such a being, especially in Christianity, conventionally in the image of a human figure with a halo and wings. It says, they're going to finally get to it, I guess. Let me see here. A kind and lovable person, one who manifests goodness, purity, and selflessness. A financial backer of an enterprise, especially a dramatic, let's keep going, in theology, one of a class of spiritual beings attendant upon God. In medieval angelology, they are divided by rank into 9 orders: seraphim, cherubim, thrones, dominions, virtues, powers, principalities, or princedoms, archangels, and angels. Theology, a divine messenger of God. Finally. Now, since we know that the scripture teaches you that the word is God. This is over in John, the 1st chapter. In the first verse, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now, over in the 17th chapter, it tells you what word you're talking about. In the 17th chapter of John, in the 17th verse, it says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Okay. In the beginning was the truth, and the truth was with God, and the truth was God. Okay. So when you meet up with someone that that bears or knows truth, that will make a difference between you being perpendicular and parallel with the earth, then that person is the messenger of God that can do good to you. That's what scientists, the messenger, you notice the messenger referred to the prophets as scientists. Of course, you also, there are heavenly scientists and there are earthly scientists, but they are all scientists. And this first scientist, the first man, Adam, he was made natural. He's a natural scientist. Do you understand? But God made him that. And so that's why I said there are angels of different ranks. And so now when you look at the scientists of the CDC in this country, and then you have scientists in other countries that are equivalent to that. And but the scientists of the CDC, since they know things that I don't know, that if it hadn't been for them, we would have been dying around here. I'm not saying I would have, but because Allah have not sent me to die, He sent me to save others. But we would have had a lot of people dying, and we wouldn't even know what they was dying from. But that's where the messengers of God came in, the scientists, the messengers of truth. They came in and told us there's a virus that's so small that 100 million of them can fit on the head of a pin, and they get inside of you and wreak havoc in your body. And they showed us a picture of what they look like, and they went to work studying that thing to see how they could combat its harmful effects. Notice, they knew they couldn't eradicate it, but that wasn't the point. They needed to find out how they could make it harmless. Do you understand? And so they kept working at it and kept working at it, and they came up with a way to make it not be able to do the harm that it was doing. And they called it a vaccine. And so, as with other people, I thought about Tuskegee and all of that. And I thought about the fact that Tuskegee was not the CDC. and so, you can't, it's just like when people used to put a blanket on us. One black man do something, and then they say black people do this and black people do that. But black people don't do that. That one black man did that. Do you understand? And so, likewise, you look at the history of which I'm going to be speaking on some of it tomorrow, of slavery in this country. All white people didn't agree with slavery. It was a lot of white people that during the time when slavery was the natural order of things, you had one that stood out, and he had lots of more of them that was just like him. His name was John Brown. And he paid the ultimate price, the ultimate sacrifice he made, trying to set us free as he could. And he was a white man, and he wasn't doing raids on farms by himself. It was other white men with him that hated slavery enough to put their life down, lay their life down to try to free black people. And so, this thing about Tuskegee, I ain't gonna take no vaccine and all that kind of stuff, that don't hold water. There wouldn't even been no Underground Railroad if it hadn't been for some white people. Where slaves was running away and they was being helped to do so, and they called it the Underground Railroad. But it was white people helping them do that. I mean, anytime you're afraid to speak up for someone who helped you because they are not popular, or because maybe they are from a people who is not popular, and you decide that if you speak up for them, people gonna hate you, you make it appear that you were not worth their sacrifice. So I know a lot of people don't like me speaking up for white people. But that's on you. That ain't on me. I speak the truth about people. Just like I didn't condone it, and I hate it when white people get up and try to, as they say, stereotype us. Then I hate to stereotype them too. I don't believe in that. So anyway, the history of us here shows that there was bad and good among them. You understand? And you must, if you're going to condemn the bad, you must also acknowledge the good. If you're going to be a judge, I mean, there's a prosecution and there's a defense. You have to make sure that you hear both sides, the prosecution and the defense, and then make your judgment about the whole situation. And so anyway, I didn't just trust the scientists because scientists have you've had people that claim to be scientists talking about black people was inferior by nature and all this kind of stuff. And they claim to be scholars. Talking about we are inferior to people who came out of us. I mean, really. But anyway, so you have to be careful. Sometimes the term scientist deserves another S in front of it, pseudoscientist. And But anyway, the Word of God says in the 13th chapter of Romans, it says, let every soul, every human being, that's what souls are, human beings. You learn that when they tell you about the amount of people that was on a plane that crashed, and they said it had 240 souls on it. And the Bible says, and God breathed the breath of life into man, and man became a living soul. He didn't say he breathed the soul into man, and man stood up. He said man is a soul. And as long as you can take the breath of life in, the breath of the earth in, and use it, you are a living soul. When you can no longer take that oxygen in and utilize it to pump blood throughout your body and the life fluid throughout your body, then you are a dead soul when you can't do that. Do you understand? And so the 13th chapter of Romans, it says, let every human being be subject unto the higher powers. Now there, you notice the angels have ranks. Yeah, they're higher and lower. But when we say angel, we mean messengers of truth, messengers of God. People who bring you the truth about any particular subject matter. Then that person is bringing you the message from truth, and truth is God. Truth grants dominion to whoever got sense enough to hold on to the truth and submit to the truth. And so the Dr. Fauci and all of the scientists in the CDC, they told us that vaccine should be taken. So I submitted to the higher powers. Well, I couldn't stand up here and tell you don't take the vaccine, because you might ask me why not. And then what I'm supposed to say? I didn't know that I didn't even know that virus existed. They told us it existed. You say, well, they could have been lying. Well, what was these people dying from that was dying? And one person in particular that I knew and was dear to me called me, and it wasn't a thing I could do for her. And she told me she was afraid, and she was, I could tell she was laboring to breathe then. And all I could tell her was just trust in Allah, and whatever Allah wants to happen, that's what's going to happen. Nothing happens to us without Allah's permission. I hated to have to say that to her. Because, the die was already cast, it seemed, that she was going to pass away. But it was nothing I could do for her. But there was something on the horizon. I don't think the vaccine existed at that time. But when the vaccine came out, I remembered even that story about the four-wheeler, the motorboat, and the helicopter. But the main thing I remembered was Romans, the 13th chapter. If God saw fit to let them be able to see something that is so small that 100 million of them could fit on the head of a pin, then I think that person knows a little bit more than I do about that particular situation. And so I obeyed him. I let you see me obey him. And it's like the devil. He took Jesus up on the pinnacle of the temple and told him, it's written that he gonna give his angels charge over you. So if you the Son of God, jump off here, cast yourself down, and in their hands they'll bear you up. And Jesus looked at the devil and said, it's also written, thou shalt not test the Lord thy God. Do you understand? Jesus didn't turn around and tell him that's not what it was talking about. Jesus didn't know all of the understanding of the book himself. And so, but he knew he ain't had no business getting up there jumping off no pinnacle or no temple, simply because the devil dared him to do it. Do you understand? And so likewise, you got people that still won't go and get vaccinated. And that's one of the reasons why this virus is able to keep on mutating and changing. Because you got all of these people walking around here that's an open petri dish for them. So I tell you to go and read Romans, the 13th chapter, and then wake up and realize that the scientists of the CDC, when it comes to virology, I think someone who's been studying that field for 20 and 30 years knows a little bit more about it than I do, and a little bit more than you do. I think you should listen to them, and I think you should follow their guidance. Okay. Now, did anyone have any questions on that? It's just like people are starting to listen to me, obviously, and follow my guidance on scriptures. I mean, I've been doing this for 50-something years. If you can find someone who won an argument against me and show me where they did it at, I'll give you $50,000. Show me where anybody won an argument against me about the scriptures. Even when one thought he had won an argument against me, I proved that he didn't. Because what I said, the scripture said, I gave the simplest meaning of it. Where he was quoting what the scripture says, that your Father which is in heaven. And I told him, the Father which is within you. And where did Jesus say the kingdom of God is? Well, the kingdom of God is within you, then heaven is within you. Do you understand? And so that is, but I want to show you something here. Just give me a minute. And now here's a young white boy. You know, people been trying to suggest that Jesus was the Word made flesh. How could Jesus be the Word made flesh and the Word wasn't finished when Jesus was here? The gospel is not the last revelation from God. You got them revelations, them books back there, them revelations that Paul received. Paul received them revelations after Jesus was here. Then you also had the revelation of John, the divine, and his revelation came after the gospel. And then a whole another book came after the gospel called Holy Quran. So before the Word of God could be made flesh, the Word of God had to be completed. And once it was completed, he sealed it up. Do you understand? And it wasn't going to be unsealed until the one that he said, "This day have I begotten thee." Do you understand? And that's me, you see. This is the Sabbath day, and Allah begat me this day. Do you understand? Now, to show you that some people are starting to listen to me, for you didn't hear no white people talking about Jesus was no Muslim until you heard me start coming out here calling everybody out and telling them that all the prophets was Muslims. Huh? Not just Jesus, all the prophets was Muslims. Now they starting to think, and they realize that I'm right. So just listen to this.
When I told everybody Jesus was a Muslim, it was 100% a trap to see if people really know what they're talking about. And this goes to show that the people attacking Islam know nothing about it. So let me explain for all you Christian pages who are trying to debunk me. Jesus was 100% a Muslim, and there's nothing you can do to defend against this, because being a Muslim just means you submit to one God or Allah. And Islam is the only religion that I've studied that gets better the more I learn. When I studied the Kabbalah or I studied the Christian books, it just gets worse over time. The contradictions get worse, the belief system gets worse, the morals get worse. Now, in my early 20s, I worked security in downtown Scottsdale at a bunch of different clubs. And I can tell you guys right now, I've seen a lot of Jewish women and Christian women inside of these clubs doing wild things. And I have never seen a Muslim woman up in these clubs doing raunchy shit. And all these people can make a bunch of videos about me. They can waste their time all they want. That's your choice. But no matter how you compare these religions, Islam is the only one that has a real good core of principles.
So, I mean, what can you say? What can you say? Now, as I told you, and the Holy Quran tells you. It said, if, it says, let's go over here to the 3rd chapter. In the 3rd chapter of the Holy Quran, this is the I like to show you things, to show you the truth of these things. Let's see. In the 85th verse of the 3rd chapter of the Holy Quran, it says, and whoever seeks a religion other than Islam, it will not be accepted from him. And in the hereafter, he will be one of the losers. Why? Because Antichrist, there are many Antichrists. But I'm at war with Antichrist now. And they all are losing. Do you understand? You don't hear. It's like the man who came in here last night and I had to threaten to throw him in hell to shut him down. He accused me of blasphemy and was called himself being sarcastic about Geno Jennings. But if any of you can show me where Geno Jennings corrected me on anything, I'd like you to show it to me. Where did he give me a correction at? I corrected him on quite a few things. It's like when he accused the people in Africa of having slavery. And they thought I didn't know that slavery was called indentured servitude. And that was so you'd have to work off a debt that you had. And they could not mistreat you. They had to feed you properly. They had to give you clothing and all of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you know, you could tell that he's a con artist. He's a con man. Because he tried to misrepresent indentured servitude and suggest that the servitude that we was in was the same as that. And he knew better. He just didn't know I knew better. But anyway, people like that, they deserve hell. Because he knowingly tries to mislead you. You know, I took his innocence away when he saw me explaining scriptures that he didn't know what they was talking about. And instead of him being happy, he got angry. It upset him. You see? So, I was looking at Ari Melba today, and this is was some of the news from today.
Donald Trump's federal coup trial is back on. That is because this court, as mentioned, is ruling against defendant Trump today. They're green-lighting the trial sought by special counsel Jack Smith. This ruling sets a historic precedent for holding a former president accountable. We have special coverage for you tonight that we've been working on all day since this broke early on the East Coast today. We're going to go through it with you. We start with the basics. You don't need to be a lawyer or a constitutional scholar to understand this. The ruling rejects Donald Trump's very far-fetched arguments that his job history as president should mean that he could never be arrested, indicted, or tried for anything related to his time in office. Trump's lawyers had argued that he should basically retain a kind of a permanent immunity from the fact that he used to be president. Well, the court is rejecting that today. And we're going to begin, like I said, with the clarity of this single spare sentence. Quote, "For the purpose of this criminal case, former President Trump has become Citizen Trump." That's it. If you don't want to read the whole thing, and we're going to give you more context, but that's the ruling right there. That term, Citizen Trump, is this high court saying that this individual is subject to prosecution and a trial and possible incarceration like any other citizen. That is the top line. That is the key.
Now, let me add a little bit to that. In order to be President of the United States, you have to first be a citizen of the United States. And a non-citizen cannot be president. So the mere fact you was president tells you that you are a citizen of the United States. Do you understand? And if that be the case, the Constitution has authority over you as long as you are in this jurisdiction of this country. And even when you leave this country, other countries have to respect the fact that you are a citizen of the United States. And if they got a problem with you out there, then they should inform your country, and the right thing to do would be to send you home. Do you understand? So, that is a civilized way of dealing with things, dealing with people. That depending on what type of offense they committed against your laws in your country, you should not be their judge. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you allow people to come into your borders, the intelligent thing would be to let them know what do's and don'ts are allowed within your borders. Do you understand? So that they don't appear uncivilized by their deeds and actions. That's one of the reasons that George Washington had a good idea when he said that he hoped that all nations would adopt the United States Constitution as their own. Because that way, when you go to any country, it would be never like leaving home. Do you understand? But anyway, that's for peaceful coexistence. These people don't want no peace. They just want to be conquerors, And even after they done conquered something, they like a dog. You remember the Joker on Batman, where he said, "I'm a dog chasing a car. Wouldn't know what to do with it if you caught it." I said, boy, he sure they dropping all this truth out here, and people ain't paying it no attention. But anyway, this was a good thing. The court told him, you don't get no free pass to start violating the laws of the country just because you was president. When you was president, you were supposed to be upholding and enforcing the Constitution. And you come in here talking about you should not be charged with anything since you was president. That's crazy. But that's what he did. But I told you that I cast him into hell. You heard me when I did it. And hell is misunderstanding. You see, that's in the book. It's not something that I just made up. Just in the book of Romans, it says, as they did not like to retain truth in their knowledge, the truth, Allah gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things that's not in their best interest. It said to do those things that are not convenient. when it's not convenient for you, it's not in your best interest. Do you understand? So, listen.
This is a devastating loss to a defendant, Donald Trump, who had hoped to either establish some new get-out-of-jail-free card for long-term permanent immunity or to use this to delay the case indefinitely. Here's how the historic news broke today.
That D.C. appeals court that had taken up this issue of presidential immunity, the court has denied Trump's argument.
This is a big win for special counsel Jack Smith and clearly a setback for former President Donald Trump.
The Trump team has already indicated that they intend to appeal this decision to the U.S. Supreme Court.
This is also about timing. We know former President Trump and his legal team, they are trying to do anything they can to delay.
And Trump's legal team has one move left in this case, and they say they're going to try it. They are going to ask the Supreme Court to review today's big ruling. And that could delay any trial of Donald Trump if the Supreme Court takes the case. But the Supreme Court could also simply decline that request, letting this ruling stand. The Supreme Court denying far-fetched Trump legal appeals is not a new thing, even though he has appointed 3 justices to the current court. That's how the court, remember, handled many Trump appeals in the related period after his November 2020 loss. This high court never heard, let alone overturned, the appeals court rulings against Trump's election theories and complaints about his loss. I say that by way of background. The court could also decide that this is a big legal question about a former president, and they could hear this case as a way to review. Now, today's ruling is legally solid. It was unanimous, 3 judges siding with Jack Smith. And the D.C. Circuit is considered the key court of appeals in the nation with an expertise on government issues. The new ruling discusses how Trump faces the evidence and allegations of waging an unprecedented assault on the structure of our government. And the court discussed the evidence that Donald Trump stands accused of injecting himself into a process in which the president has no role, the counting and certifying of the Electoral College votes, undermining constitutionally established procedures. So, if your argument is, hey, I was just presidenting, and in fact you're doing something where you have no role, because the presidency, as powerful as it is a government role. We've been at this for a long time in this country, so there are limits that have already been established. For example, if a president storms the Capitol and says he wants to vote and insists on voting in Congress, that's not part of the presidential role. That may sound far-fetched, except when you remember that a bunch of the president's supporters did storm the Capitol, and then according to evidence and under oath testimony on January 6th in the hearings, he wanted to go physically storm as well. Now, the court today is finding that those kind of efforts for the president to go far beyond what is even debatable in his powers, and those efforts waged for malicious or criminal intent, doesn't mean you have no limit there. Doesn't mean that there's no way to ever prosecute that after you leave office. That those kind of things can be prosecuted just like, say, murder.
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first.
So your answer is no.
Your answer is no. That was the most infamous exchange in the oral argument, which was for today's ruling. So if you're trying to keep this all straight, you're saying, hey, Ari, I watch the news, but there's a lot of different Trump cases, there's a lot of different prosecutions. Well, that infamous argument, which made waves, well outside of news, by the way, it was on the late night shows, it was in the culture, it was all over the internet. Are we living through this? That moment was from this case, a Trump lawyer promoting the violent, lawless theory of presidential power there. Well, today the news is that this ruling answers that exchange. The court ruling against Trump and noting that his stance would collapse our very system of separated powers by placing the president beyond the reach of all 3 branches. That is court speak for we don't have a dictatorship. We have separate, co-equal branches of government. And the court notes that the Trump alternative theory would be Congress could not legislate, the executive could not prosecute, and the judiciary could not review. Again, that is the description of a quasi-dictatorship. Now, Jack Smith's win today reinforces accountability, not only for citizen Trump, as the court called him, but for any president who might try to abuse powers against democracy or public safety. The court flatly noting we cannot accept the office of the presidency places its former occupants
And you know, the argument that he's making is ludicrous because Joe Biden is president currently. He'd be, if they found that to be so, Joe Biden could order somebody to go kill him with impunity. Why you think I played this? Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. I mean, do you really want presidents to have the unlimited power to mistreat or break laws whenever they feel like it? You really want a president that can go out and shoot somebody with impunity? Huh? But remember, Donald Trump did say he could do that with his supporters. And he is certain things he left out saying that Howard Stern, he already told you. He said the people who love Donald the most are the ones that Donald hate the most. Do you understand? So when he said that I could go out and shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and wouldn't lose any support, what he was saying was, the people who support me are so stupid that I could go out there and shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and wouldn't lose none of their support. So, why should I feel anything about anything that I do to bring such a country like this down? If they were stupid enough if they that stupid, they don't deserve to have this country. Do you understand? They've already lost it. Because they've walked away from their fathers and mothers who gave them this. No generation before you would have elected a man like Donald Trump. No generation of people. You in a class all by yourself. A jackass class. Now you can, I don't care what you say. I don't care how you take what I just said. I really don't. No. I've watched elections since I was a little boy. You know, I was born in 1950. So now you know I'm 73 years old. Soon 74. And never did I see a man that was totally unqualified to be president, even attempt to run, let alone get elected. They scrutinized you before you got up there. If you didn't have the some type of charm, some type of etiquette about yourself, some type of civil understanding, you couldn't come close to the White House. Then you turn around there and put this jackass in there. Talking about anything is better than a woman. You're out of your damn mind. Yeah, let me show you something. You didn't want a woman. Your mama was a woman, dummy. I didn't hear you. Let's see here. What does government supposed to be there at its best? What is government at its best? Tell me. Some of y'all tell me what government is at its best. What is the purpose of a government? See, you elected people into government, and you don't even know what the purpose of the government is. Now, then how do you know who to put in there? What is the purpose of the school system?
Educate the students to handle it.
I mean, duh. I mean, I wanted something more than that, man. I mean, come on. I mean, Why do they have a Department of Education?
To enlighten the citizens. To regulate.
To what?
To regulate. To regulate the education.
Why do they have a Department of Agriculture?
To ensure the safety and well-being of
the Department of Agriculture?
Agriculture.
What was it? All right, I'm through with it. I'm through with it. It is everything, the education, the Department of Education, the Department of Agriculture, all of those things is for one purpose: to help the American people and promote their welfare. The knowledge that is taught in the school system is taught to help perpetuate the way of life of the American people. The industry, I'm sure, now I ain't been behind closed doors with them, but I'm sure that when they choosing curriculums, they get input from the industrial complex of this country. What do you need? What are we going to need? Because what is the point of producing what you call technology if the knowledge of the people that's coming out of school, if they coming out of school with no knowledge of the technology that you are producing? You got to match the technology with the people who you want to be in the workforce. Do you understand? So the school system is there to help. Now, you notice, you call your school system, the schools is always called she. Because the she is the womb out of which humanity comes. The woman has the greatest job of all. She brings forth the increase of the nation. Do you understand? And to have a low opinion of the woman is to have a low opinion of yourself. I will make for the man and help meet for him. Meet means agreeable for him. Even when you saw Miss Clinton going through some changes because of that Monica Lewinsky thing or whatnot, she kept her cool, she kept her composure, and she didn't make it worse. Do you understand? And she always conducted herself as First Lady with charm and with dignity. And when she was Secretary of State, she did a good job on that. You didn't hear no crazy stuff about her messing that up. And even when them crooks in the Tea Party, calling themselves Republicans, was up there, called themselves getting on her about what happened over there with the ambassador to what was that? Was it Libya? Benghazi, yes. Okay. And they did all that hoorah and going on, and then came up with she wasn't guilty of anything. Do you understand? And so she was an impressive senator. She was an impressive First Lady. She was an impressive Secretary of State. And then you get her against a man whose only credentials was that he was a known con artist, a known liar. And because this Hillary Clinton was a woman, you decide that she wasn't qualified to be president. I mean, that wasn't no real glass ceiling. It's just a glass ceiling here in America. Margaret Thatcher, Angela Merkel. I mean, you got women running, in executive branches of government all over the world. And here you come with your backwards ass ideas. I'm sorry. Look, man. My mother wasn't no dummy. My daddy couldn't read. You know who took care of all the bills in my house? My daddy didn't sit down reading the bills and stuff. My mother took care of all that. And never got behind. And whatever, and at the same time, she never disrespected her husband. And put a haymaker upside my head when I said something I ain't had no business to my daddy. The lick didn't hurt, but the look she gave me sure did. I was stupid enough to think she was going to be on my side. Children are stupid. Anyway, they think because maybe I heard my daddy fussing at her sometime and getting on her about stuff. She probably disliked him as much as I did. No, she did not. She loved her husband. And but anyway, she was a big help to my dad. You don't realize the value of the woman until you get out of the way and let her do what she know how to do. You don't know the value of any person if you stifle their growth and development. You don't know what they have in them that Allah done put in them that would have helped you if you hadn't killed them. Anyway. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. I just, you you can look back at history and remind yourself not to make that same mistake again. Do you understand? So, if you really understood the name woman, you would understand that it's two words. It's womb, man. It's the man who is the womb for humanity. Why you think the book says honor your father and your mother? You dishonored her. You ignored all of her qualifications, and you put a totally unqualified, untested man in that august office, and you got what you deserved. What the snake said? Oh, shut up, silly woman. Said the reptile with a grin. Said Donald Trump with a grin. You do damn well I was a con man before you took me in there. Mexico gonna pay for the wall. Yeah? Did that happen? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take all your health care away. You better be glad that one didn't happen. See, he didn't say it like that. He said, I'm gonna end Obamacare. You know, some of them people who voted for him were so stupid that they didn't know that the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare is the same thing. You saw it on the news. And for you to be white in America and be that stupid, you are a sorry individual. Because the only reason you that stupid is because you chose to be. You chose to ignore education. You chose to ignore. It's just like these stupid people that's walking around here choosing to not get vaccinated for a virus that's so deadly that it's done killed over 1 million people in this country. And got hell of a nerve trying to call yourself getting mad because I told you I don't want you around here if you ain't been vaccinated. And I'm warning you, don't come around us if you're not vaccinated. Because if I find out that you endangering us like that, if you'll see a side of me you wish you had never seen. So, you love people that put your family in danger? You got a right to play Russian roulette if you want to, but you ain't got a right to make me play it with you. Now you just stay on over there in your little dark world and in your little dark corner. That's the one thing about the earth. This is the Garden of Eden, eternal day and eternal night. So you stay on over there in the dark side if you want. Just every time the light is coming your way, run on back into the dark. That's what Moses' people did. When he went in there, Moses, when he went into the cave to civilize the devil, white man, he took a musical instrument with him. And he played on it. And some of them, it piqued their interest, and they came out. And that's where the term music hath charms to soothe the savage beast. Well, anyway, but some, it frightened them, and they ran deeper into the cave. Do you understand? Okay. Well, so it is today. You know, that's like the earth. The earth is always light on one side and dark on the other. That's it. The side that's facing the sun is always light, and the side that's away from the sun is always dark. So to remedy that, it turns. That way, every part of the earth, if you sit still on it, every part of the earth comes in the light and out of the light. Do you understand? So that's a mighty wise God did that. So I want you to remember that Jesus could not have been the Word made flesh. See, you know, the devil told them that the Word got over Mary and put a baby in her. And they went for that. That's what they've been telling people. Of course, now, the Word don't get over nobody and they become a doctor. The Word don't get over no woman and she produce a baby. And that's a baby doctor over there. That's a baby lawyer over there. That's baby. No. It don't work like that. You have to be born again. Do you understand? And except a man be born of water and of the Spirit. Huh? He can't see the kingdom. You can't see no kingdom if you have not been born of the Spirit. Whether it's the kingdom of mathematics, the kingdom of any of the sciences, the kingdom of anything, you can't see none of that unless your mind has been reborn into that knowledge. Do you understand? So, it's time that everybody wake up. And that's what I'm here for. You know, the sun wakes everybody up. You don't make no difference how dark your room is. When the sun up, it's some kind of way you just, even if you don't see the light, you feel the heat. It's you got to wake up. So, you know, I'm here to wake up everybody. And that's why the first thing I had to do was reprove that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught you the truth. And that's what he told you, that I would come. He said Allah's not going to let you get away with bowing to some other God. No, He's going to force you to bow to Him. He said, I don't care what you believe in. You could believe in Buddha. He said, but Allah's going to come and He's going to make you bow to Him. See how I'm making y'all bow to me? And He told you that that's what I would do. And as when I say bow, I mean, you know, when you say things and people can argue with you, they're not bowing to you. But when you say things and can't nobody argue with you, then they are bowing to you. Do you understand? There you go. So, and as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow before me, and every tongue shall confess unto the God, to the truth that I speak. God is the truth. The Word is God. Do you understand? Because the Word is the grantor of dominion. When you give, as I tell you who are CEOs and people who are foremen, those who are in charge of others, one of the things that makes that shows your qualification to be in charge is how well you can delegate authority. Because if you send the wrong person to do a job, it's not that person's fault. It's your fault. You should have known whether they could do that job before you sent them out there. You see? So, you know, I don't, you know, sometimes I call on a person and it's just like teachers, they kind of show you that. Like some students, they call on them all the time to go do this and go do that. And the other students, they call them, yes, teacher's pet, teacher's pet. No, the teacher just got sent enough not to call on your stupid behind because they know you ain't going to do nothing. So they call on one that they know going to get the job done. Do you understand? And so, you know, if you apply yourself and show the teacher that you can do things, then the teacher will call on you. Do you understand? You always want the most qualified person to do the job. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Being president don't mean you the smartest person in the room. Oftentimes presidents are not the smartest, but they oftentimes are the wisest. Do you understand? And so you get a cabinet. You get to choose a cabinet, and that's where you pick the smart people. That way, when you trying to make decisions about something, you say, hey, I'm trying to decide on how I want to do this thing here. What y'all think? And then they go around the table and come to some kind of consensus. And you say, well, thank you. I'll let y'all know what I decided. And then the president, and when he's making his decision, he wants to generally be alone. I don't need you to make the decision for me. I just needed some advice from you. Do you understand? Because they ain't gonna blame you if you go wrong. They're gonna blame me. So you gave me the best advice you could give me. Now I respect that, and now I will mull over it and decide. Because a lot of times the question that's asked, he might have already made his decision. He's double checking to see who may have agreed with his decision anyway. Do you understand? And so it's plenty of reasons why you do that. So, but anyway, because sometimes he changed his mind because he was going to do something, and then they showed, somebody pointed out something that he hadn't taken into consideration. And they said, yeah, sure glad I got this input from y'all. So, you know, it's always good to have a sounding board. That's one of the reasons they call them the Board of Education. You see, you can go to your Board of Education and bounce ideas off of them and let them decide, help you decide about this curriculum or that curriculum. Do you understand? All praise is due to Allah. Let's finish hearing this.
Of the law. And that principle is not new. But tonight, because of the extreme and egregious behavior of a single former president, tonight that principle is reaffirmed at a very high level. And if the Supreme Court, as I said, does not take and review this case, this would be the last word on it. Many, many key precedents come from these appeals courts or the D.C. Circuit, not all the way up to the Supreme Court. I told you we would start simple, and we did. I showed you some of the basic sentences from this court that tell you why this is a citizen Trump and not a president or dictator Trump. But I want to end before I bring in our guests with one other slightly more nuanced point. There's been a lot of talk about elector fraud and voter fraud, talk about elections and democracy, talk about who is the really bad party stealing them or not. There's been talk about coups and insurrections. This ruling cuts to the heart of accountability in our system in an imperfect but still functioning democracy. And this is the most important part in my legal analysis for you tonight, which I'm about to show you what the judges say. Here's the concept. However imperfect and however frustrating and however slow, the people still have the greatest check on power through their vote in a functioning democracy. Now, if that is stolen by liars or would-be tyrants, who, of course, then accuse others of doing the stealing and others of being illegitimate, but if that is stolen, then this nation will not endure as a democracy that is able to check political power with people power. That's why this whole thing matters. It's not because people have other objections to Donald Trump or his style or what he's put us through or how much time and energy he may have sucked out of the body politic away from other things that could have been addressed, legislated, other policies. It's not about that. Everyone knows Donald Trump tried to steal the race after he lost. Whether he did it in a way that is criminal and therefore jailable is still for the courts to decide. Not for you or I or any observer, but for the courts through a mandated system and due process protections and a jury of your peers. But the other key line tonight in this ruling speaks to this clash, this talk of coups and insurrections and voter fraud, which has very sadly and sometimes frustratingly defined our civic life for the past few years. The judges rule they cannot accept the claim that a president has unbounded authority to commit crimes that would neutralize the most fundamental check on executive power, the recognition of election results. And here we are full circle, because those election results, that check on power still works. That's what we're talking about. It was those election results that functioned in 2020. And today the court rules that that check must still operate in the election that we are heading towards later this year, not by delaying accountability or sugarcoating or punting, but rather, no matter what happens in this trial, which is now back on and which could still acquit the defendant or have a mistrial or have many endings that might not be what people who want Donald Trump to be tried are hoping for, but the functioning of the system, holding that trial of a former president alongside this year and this campaign and his effort to run again, that is what the system demands.
Now, I want to you know, if you want to be a king, well, I'm showing you how. What do you mean you showing us how? The only king that is justified to be king is one who put himself out there and let people argue with back and forth with him, and he win all the arguments. And he do it in front of everybody. Why you think Jesus and them called me the king? You see, the in political science, when they're teaching you about the best form of government, they say the best form of government is the benevolent dictatorship. What is a benevolent dictator? God is. That whatever needs doing for the benefit of those who are governed, that's what gets done. I was listening to President Biden, and he was boasting that he is the most pro union president that there has ever been. And he said, why? Because when unions do well, everyone does well. What is that? What is the United States? It is a union. And whenever the union does well, everybody in it basically does well. Do you understand? That's where you think the idea for labor unions came from. It came from the greater union, the United States, the Union of the United States. When they, when you have, I think one of the major reasons that the Soviet Union failed was because they had the right term, union, but it was not truly a union. Because those who were handling the wealth of the nation, they lived well, while the people that were in part of the union were not living so well. They were stuck in, it was classes and castes, from what I could gather. That's not the way people were designed. Whenever you put a ceiling on how high people can rise, it's kind of like putting water in a hot water heater without a pop-off valve, and just letting it keep on, and no thermostat or nothing. Just put it in there and hope that people keep using the hot water so it don't never overheat. But eventually it's going to overheat. And instead of a hot water heater, now you got a hot water bomb there. And it's the same with people when they don't have any hope of rising beyond their current status. And when they don't have any hope of rising beyond their current status, then they eventually going to blow up at you. Do you understand? Somebody going to say, I remember this song said, give me that old time religion. It was good enough for my mama, and so it's good enough for me. No, what was good enough for my mama ain't good enough for me. Do you understand? Because I see something better that I'm being held back from even attempting to go and try to gain. I can't stomach that. You see, so the best form of government is a benevolent dictator who will help the lowest reach his fullest potential. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? That's what the Prophet Muhammad said, that the least believer in the hereafter in paradise, Allah will ask them, what do you desire? Do you desire as much land as any king ever had? And he said, yes, my Lord, yes. He said, well, you may have that, and you may have that, and 5 times more. He said, does that satisfy you? And he said, my Lord, yes. He said, well, you may have 10 times more. And that's benevolent. That's a benevolent one, you see. It's just like I told you, when I was growing up, I used to look at this series called The Millionaire. And this man was, I don't think it ever showed his face, but it showed his butler. And he would call him in, and he would hand him a check for $1 million. And he would say to the butler, he said, our next millionaire. And then he'd go out and knock on somebody's door, and when they answered, he would get their name and everything, and he would say, I have a cashier's check here for you for $1 million. And they said, for what? For what? He said, well, you know, it's for you. And but I used to wish that I could be the one giving that to people. And, you know, strange thing for a little boy to be wishing, but that's what, you know, but that's what I used to wish I could be giving people stuff. And I didn't wish for the million for me. I wished I could give it to people. But anyway, it, you know, then I grew up and discovered that I'm the Lord. So, well, that's why I didn't wish it for me. so all praises due to Allah. But a lot of what I have learned, I want everybody to listen to me. Look at the United States. Take a good look at the United States, historically up to now. You gonna tell me you don't see that it has improved? That it has been a steady moving from left to right? Yeah, there's people who try to go back to wrong. But like a child when he's trying to learn how to walk. You've seen babies trying to learn how to walk. They take a step or two forward and then back and fall down, and then they, you know, but they steady trying to balance themselves. Then they go to trying to walk, and then they run because he can't stay balanced. He take off running and then fall. And but you know, you have to admire the fact that, I mean, man, to go from slavery and from all of that unjust actions, and didn't nobody come here and force them to do better? I didn't hear you. Did nobody force John Brown to take a stand that he took? He took that stand on his own. So, you know, I mean, and the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, if you read them, you have to see the hand of God in there. So I can't ignore what I see. I can't ignore what I know. So you have to all of us that grew up in this country, whether you care to admit it or not, your basic idea of right and wrong you got growing up in this country here. Just tell the truth. And a lot of the things about right and wrong you learn from experience. And, you know, it's just like, yeah, I'm standing up here in Mississippi, and they still got a whole lot of wrong stuff going on there. But it's a lot of stuff that's right here, too. Old habits is like, you know, old people. You know, they hang around. They hang around. Do you understand? You know, the older you get, the harder that old habit is to break. Do you understand? because it's a habit. And habits are things that you do and don't even be aware that you're doing them. You don't even have to think about them. So you be doing it and don't even realize you're doing it. I didn't hear you. And that's why when you, let me tell you something. If you're in the habit, listen to me good, and especially you white people. I'm trying to show you how to save yourself. You cannot change an old habit if you don't consciously think about it and recognize that it's wrong and condemn it. And then, not only should you try to consciously remember to think about everything you're doing, but tell people, look, if you see me do this again, remind me, that, I said I wasn't going to do that no more. Do you understand? And with a little help, after a while, you will no longer do that thing that was unjust and wrong, and to yourself or to others. It's like people who are so used to look at you, who's so used to disrespecting black people that you do it without even thinking about it. And then when somebody get on you about it, you say, what? What did I do? Because you don't see that as wrong, and it became right in your eyes. And so you're trying to figure out what folks were mad about. So I'm telling you. And don't tell me you can't do it. Because when you first heard me on here, you thought you could say and do anything to me. And you found out that comes with consequences. And so now you're careful how you talk to me. And by being careful how you talk to me, like I am about how I talk to you. Maybe one day, just like me and the man that used to be just business, strictly business dealing with each other. Because he said, hey, we friends, Muhammad. I said, how we going to be friends, man? And you enslaved my people. And he didn't say nothing. He understood. And yet, as time went on, and I saw that he actually was trying to be friendly to me. And I told him one day, I said, you remember the day we had that conversation? And he said, yeah. He said, yeah, Muhammad. I said, we are friends. Yes, you are my friend. Because he used to try to give me stuff and lumber and stuff for cost and everything. I said, how you going to stay in business and you giving it to me for what it costs you, man? And he said, it's all right, Muhammad. I said, no, it ain't all right. I said, I told you we friends. I said, your friends don't try to take misadvantage of you. I said, now, you charge me a reasonable price, and any kind of break you can give me, I appreciate, but I can't come down here. I'm poor, but I ain't that poor. I'll get back. Anyway, what would you pick up the mic for? What is it?
Yes, sir. The man from last night, Orion, just left a comment. This
what?
Is blasphemy.
Just one comment?
Yes, sir.
Leave that man alone. I ain't gonna do it. I don't feel like going nobody in here. He ain't, leave him alone. So when he get something that I need to deal with, I'll deal with it. But anyway, just remember. Now, I want all of you to understand something. You may pretend you don't know, and I'm telling you, you just pretending that you don't know when you're doing somebody wrong. Because the very thing that you do to other people, when it's done to you, you scream to high heaven. It's just like what happened over there in between Israel and Hamas. I can't say Israel and Palestine because the Palestinian people are not all, they didn't declare war on Israel. But Hamas did. And then Hamas, now, when Israel go and kill up a bunch of babies and men and women, Hamas recognizes that that's evil. Well, they also, if they recognized it was evil when Israel did it to the Palestinians, they know it was evil when they did it to Israel. See, you can't have it both ways. You can't, on the one hand, don't recognize it when you doing it, but when somebody's doing it to you or some other people, then you want to say that it's wrong. And the same with Israel and vice versa. The minute you become that which you condemned, then they converted you to be worshipers of the devil along with them. It's like Prophet Muhammad gave them an example. They didn't understand what he was giving them. But when Prophet Muhammad was victorious over the, I guess it was the Quraysh and those who was declared war on him, and when he went back into Mecca after they ran him out of there throwing stones at him, when he came back in there with a conquering army, Muhammad, he didn't say go in there and kill everybody. He said, because he knew one of his generals, when they was fighting and going on, he rode his stallion up to the surf of the sea and was shaking his sword over his head and said, if it was not for this sea, I would keep on riding unto the end of the earth, putting to death every infidel that I find. And he thought he was killing infidels. And Prophet Muhammad, he saw that. And so when they got back to Mecca, he said, don't go in there slaughtering. You give everybody this to say, that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. And if they say that, you spare their life. And so there's a whole lot of people saying, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. And he stopped the killing. No messenger of God will order you to go and just slaughter a bunch of people. Wait, we don't do that. I'm come that they might have life, and that they might have it in more abundance. The Son of Man came not to destroy men's lives, but to save them. That's what's written. You see? You know the people's only problem with me? I'm saying I'm the Son of Man. That's the problem. They don't like that. Because if I ain't the Son of Man, then they can keep on doing what they're doing. And they know that. But if I'm the Son of Man, then it's time to stop doing what you was doing and ask me, what do I want you to do? And that is what they don't want. Do you understand what you picking up the mic for?
Yeah, what to say, sir.
Go ahead.
He says, there is one Messiah, Jesus Christ. You are a sinner and you need to repent and stop leading people astray.
I tell you what, I will take you at your word for it. So I want you to come in and talk to me and tell me what it is that you have to say about Jesus and whatnot. And And if what you're saying is correct, then I will correct myself. What's his name?
Ryan.
Come on in, Ryan. I think the people, don't type at me. Talk to me. Come on and talk to him. Send him the what you call it.
I did, sir.
Okay. I have great respect for people who are willing to put forth whatever it is that they think and discuss it with you. And that's the way you learn. That's the way you come to some type of agreement with one another. You have to reason with each other. And so, this is a class. This is not a show. So anyone that has some type of disagreement with me, then I need to talk with them. So you told me before he had just put one thing there. But okay, well then let him come in and discuss that with me. Discuss whatever it is that he got his hand up. Unmute. Yeah, unmute. Okay, caller.
Hey, son of man, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not the brother in the chat, just so y'all be clear about that. I'm not messing in the chat. But this is calling for Charles. I don't know if you recognize my voice.
Yeah, I recognize your voice. Go ahead.
The only thing, brother, you my brother, man. I love you, man. I always enjoy this talk. The only thing that I haven't been able to wrap my head around and come to agreement with you all is the Biden Trump thing. I understand.
Well, just a moment. I wouldn't vote for Donald Trump ever because Donald Trump is a liar, and I don't support liars.
Well, let me tell you something, man. All politicians are lying. I'm gonna say yes.
No, just a moment. No, we're not gonna go back and forth about it. If Donald Trump, for instance, he on the one hand wants to run for president, and he wants to stand up and take the oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, while he said that he did not take an oath to support the Constitution. To uphold the Constitution means to support it. And he did not support the Constitution and what the Constitution says about what happens after an election. He tried to overthrow an election instead of doing like. And just a moment, brother. Just a moment. And when he did that, he violated the law. And now he's going to be held accountable for violating the law. He committed insurrection. And he gave support. And he gave aid and comfort to people who committed insurrection. Went in the Capitol building. They went in the Capitol building.
Let me say this. Okay, you're right. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If they're wrong, nobody should be president. If they're wrong, they're wrong, right? Regardless of whatever they are. But what I want to say is this about the administration part of what Trump did. I feel like his administration, as far as like the policy, the economy was good, the country was getting on.
Just a moment. He inherited a good economy. The economy wasn't bad when he came in there.
It wasn't bad, but
no, it was the economy. Just a moment.
I mean, more money in
Just a moment. No, I wouldn't care if I made $1 million a day under the Trump administration, I would never support him for president ever again, because he did not give a damn about the American people.
Okay.
Even when Donald Trump, even when Donald Trump, even when Donald Trump,
already got enough homelessness and veteran homelessness.
just a moment, brother. See, now you doing it again. I'm gonna cut you off.
No, don't pass me that. Don't do it.
Now, I even that, when he was down there condoning them taking babies away from their mothers and sending them off somewhere, we still don't know where most of those babies are. And that happened under him. And for people to try to suggest that Donald Trump did something good for this country, he didn't do nothing good for this country. I know. I was here. Ain't no sense in coming in here trying to blow smoke in my face. I saw how the people started looking at America with Donald Trump as president. They were shaking their heads at this country, trying to figure out what in the world was these people over here thinking, to elect a man that unqualified to be in that powerful office.
You know what?
So,
I was in agreement when he was in office. I felt the way you felt about it. But like now, look at hindsight with Biden 4 years later.
I don't know how you can sit up there and tell that lie. This country was in the middle of this country. All right, now you doing it again. See, that's the problem with y'all. You say things that are not so, and when someone goes to correct you on it, you try to overtalk them.
All right, sorry.
When Joe Biden got this country, the pandemic was raging. He said he was going to be laser focused on it and get it in the rearview mirror as soon as possible. Then when the vaccines came out, that could have happened much quicker. But you had people that was listening to Trump refusing to get vaccinated. Even when that hypocrite went over there and took them monoclonal antibodies, when he got sick, he didn't have no problem trusting the CDC. But anyway, Biden got that straight. Now you ride all across this country and you see the roads and bridges being fixed and repaired because of that infrastructure bill and things. You got people getting lead contaminated pipes out of these cities and things. This was all done under the Biden administration. All of these things that President Biden has been trying to do. And I don't say this as no worshiper of President Biden. I don't worship no man. I'm the Lord. But I have respect for any man that will roll up his sleeves and try to do for people that he's in a position to do for, that if I was in that position, that's what I would be doing. And he's doing what I would be doing in that position. He's doing what any president of the United States is supposed to do. He didn't see when it came to that infrastructure bill and going, talking to and supporting the states in the United States. He didn't see red and blue states. He saw the United States. He's not the president of the blue states. He's the president of the United States. Even if they hate him, he's still their president, and he still owed them justice. He owed them to do the best he can to benefit them, regardless to how they feel about him. And that is what that's one of the reasons you call George Washington the father of this country. Not the king, not the dictator, but the father. Because a father, I'm a father. And whether my children appreciate what I did for them or not, I was going to do it anyway. Because that's my responsibility as their father. And that's how you run a country. You got all these ignorant people walking around here talking about you run a country like you do a business. That's a lie. You cannot run a country like you run a business. You run a country like you run a household. Whatever your family need, you try to get it for them. You don't say, well, we're going to have to lose a couple of the children here. We're going to have to put them out. No, you can't do that. And so that's why I admire Joe Biden. He has always lived up to what he said he was going to do. And when he got in there, he said he was going to try to work with both sides. He's been doing that. And he's been getting it done too. Regardless to how they talk him down and all of that kind of lie on the poor man. So, no, don't come in here spreading lies about him. I'm not going to hear that.
No, I would never spread a lie or anything.
Okay, well, don't do that. Now, Donald Trump is not fit to be the president of a glee club, let alone the United States of America. Because Donald Trump did not understand that when you took that office, regardless to what party you was affiliated with, you became the president of the whole United States. And you should have been, beg your pardon?
I wish I could be our president.
No, I can't do that because it would limit me to what I can say and do for other people throughout the earth. But I want all of y'all to remember, don't let your emotions and don't let just trying to show people that you ain't got to do what they think or whatever make you make the mistake that people made before. Everybody assumed. I didn't like it. I really didn't like the fact that they put Hillary up there on the ticket. I thought Joe Biden should have been the one that was on the ticket. And then I supported Bernie Sanders. But when all three of them, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton, I said, well, I trust them, so I'm going to trust her. And I started supporting her. And I did that based on my support for those men that I trusted. And I wish the whole country had dodged that bullet. But we didn't. And now we got a lot of recovering to do. And at the same time, I have to remember that I'm here to build the new nation of Islam. And I would not try to be president of the United States. What I want is to help save the United States, because I think the United States is worth saving, first of all. I think it's worth saving, because it's a lot of white Muslims in this country. As the messenger said, he said there are white Muslims in America, and lots of them. I done met some of them here in Mississippi. They don't call themselves Muslims. A lot of them call themselves Christians. They don't know that they practice in Islam, but I know that's what that is. Do you understand? So a rose by any other name would still be just as smelling, just as sweet. And so I recognize people by their works. It's just like you. You know I never did just give up on you. You made me angry sometimes, but I didn't just give up on you. What'd you say? What did you talking about? Well, that's his brother. Okay. Well, he sound like him. But either way, all of y'all are my people, and we all got issues. But loving my people ain't no issue of mine. I love my people, and I got family members that are not in the best mental shape either, but they still my family. And I'm not going to make their life worse. If I can't make it better and help them, I sure won't make it worse. And I don't want y'all to do that either. And don't support people just because they may have did a little good for you, watch what they're doing for everybody. People can't buy me. Now, if I say this, if a president gets in office, he don't have to single me out to do something special for him. Just do what's right for the whole country, and I'll be fine. Just do what's right for the whole country, and everybody in the country will be fine that want to be. You see? And it's basically what Joe Biden said. He said, when unions do well, everybody does well. Well, when the Union of the United States does well, then everybody in it will do well. Do you understand? So, and I hope he makes decisions based on that premise. What's best for the whole? What's best for the whole country? For one thing, if we really start seeing each other as neighbors and as fellow Americans, as you call it, people start disarming. They'll stop buying all these guns and stuff. Because buying them for who? To kill who? Your neighbor? Ain't nobody from the outside of this country coming in here to blow up nothing. You got an Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps to take care of that. So what you need all these guns for? So you can murder your neighbor. So you can murder your family. So you can go in schools and shoot down your own babies. That's why I don't have no gun. Don't want no gun. You can't convince me any kind of way to get no gun. I do not want to kill anybody. And I know what a gun's purpose is. It is one purpose. People dress it all up to I need this for my protection. I need, this is my security. And this, no, you got a gun and it has only one purpose, and that is to kill. And since God said, thou shalt not kill, I don't think he needs to see me going buying no gun. Because that's the same as telling him that I'm going to go kill somebody. And I'm not finna let him think that that's what I want to do. So, yes.
You just said a word that sparked them. You said thou shalt not kill. I was always taught that it was thou shalt not murder. Isn't that certain things?
Well, they told you a lie. They told you a lie. It says thou shalt not kill. That's what it says. And I remember Jesus got on them about that. He said, he said, did not Moses give you the law? And yet none of you keepeth the law? Why are you going about trying to kill me? You see? So always remember, brother, your body don't do anything that your mind don't tell it to do. So, if I kill you, I didn't kill the guilty one. The guilty one is the mind that's in you. So, I have something that I can kill the mind and spare the body. You see? I take the truth and I do away with the mentality that people have in their heart to go and kill each other. If they listen to me long enough, they won't want to go kill nobody. Then I set you free.
Keep teaching. I'm going to get off the phone and listen, because I'm going to keep learning. Every time I listen to you, I'm always learning something.
All right.
In a way that I never saw before.
All right.
I appreciate you. I love you, son of man.
I love you more. I love you more, because I understand more than you. So well, you just keep coming in.
See, I like that. I like how you said that, because you understand.
Well, I wanted you to understand what I mean by that, I truly do. All right. Well, all praise is due to Allah. You greet your brother for me too. All All right.
Indeed.
All right. Was there someone else? So, look, we went over some tonight, but look, let's do this. Let's just don't argue with each other anymore and insult one another anymore. If you have a problem with a person, calmly discuss it and attack the problem, not the person. What is it, son?
We got somebody else here, sir.
What is it?
Heirs of the Most High asks, does the Quran have the book of Ezekiel?
The Quran does not have any books like Ezekiel, Joshua, and all of those. But the Quran simply says this concerning those prophets. It says, this is the 84th verse of the 3rd chapter of the Holy Quran. It says, say, we believe in Allah and in that which is revealed to us, and that which was revealed to Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and the tribes, and that which was given to Moses and Jesus and to the prophets. And that covers Ezekiel and Jeremiah and Jonah and all of those prophets that you read of in the Bible. When it says we believe in that which was revealed to the prophets, that means we believed in all of them too. Was there any more questions?
No, sir.
And that's one of the reasons why when they call me Son of Man, in the 6th chapter of the Holy Quran, it since Allah gave the book to the prophets, it says that that book was actually the Son of Man. And so that it's like the medical book is actually the doctor, but it have to be put in the brain of a willing and capable student in order for the glorious knowledge that book has in it to guide you through medicine until it gets in the head of a student that is qualified. Then you don't see it. You don't see the value of the book. But the book itself is the doctor. But the book can't diagnose you. So the book had to be made into flesh and blood. And that's where the human being comes in. And so the 20th verse of the 6th chapter of the Holy Quran, it says, those whom we have given the book recognize him as they recognize their sons. They call me Son of Man. And Solomon talked to me like a father to a son. He said, further, my son, by these things be admonished. Of making many books, there's no end. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. So let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. And so, they all call me their son. So I'm called Son of Man. So, was there something else?
No, sir.
Okay. Then I'm going to let you all go. And remember, the way of peace is simple. As you would like people to do to you, do that to them. That's all. Just that simple. Treat everybody like you want to be treated. You see? All right. Don't treat them like they treat you. You treat them like you want to be treated. That's why I don't just. I remember the messenger said, Allah told him, he said, brother, I'm not going out there after one that you put out. He's just going to be out there. And the messenger said, so since I know that, I have to remember, and when I put you out, I don't mean for you to stay out there forever. so I put a time limit on. But with me, I don't so much as put people out as I stop talking to them. And then when they come back and try to talk to me again, if I may try them again. Because, people can change their mind. Just because a person, it's been plenty of times I got in fights when I was growing up with people that I didn't like and whatnot, and that didn't like me. And later on, we met up again as we got older, and we became the best of friends. A good example of that is Japan and the United States, Germany and the United States. I mean, they was once at war with each other. Now they're the best of friends. So, just because China and the U.S. may be at odds today, they may tomorrow be the best of friends. You'll never know. So there ain't no permanent enemies when you're dealing with the human family. No. So, just treat each other like you want to be treated. You can't undo whatever the past done. But you can say, well, look, man, I was wrong. I ain't gonna do that no more. And you say, just let's try to do better. That's the manly thing to do. Rather than be the Hatfields and McCoys going from one generation to the next, enemies to each other. What is that's crazy? No. Anyway, may Allah bless us, keep us safe, and in our right minds. And if it pleases Allah, we will be talking with you tomorrow for Black History Month. I think the brothers had me scheduled for Black History Month tomorrow, so we'll just make it all one class. Okay? All right. So may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. And grant to each and every one of you who receive His word with thanksgiving a peaceful and pleasant night's rest and sleep, and a happy, peaceful, and pleasant morning's rise. May Allah's Salam Alaikum